You're probably very nervous to do it. Just get used to doing it. You just have to go, and you have to get some reps in. All right, 6 tips if you're new to recruiting. Let's check this out.
6 tips for new to recruiting or talent acquisition. If you're new here, I'm Jackie. I'm a current HR professional and a former recruiter. Let's get into it. Number 1, be okay with getting ghosted. I have followed up with candidates more than 3 times and never received a response. Don't focus on this too much. With recruiting, it's all about numbers.
All right, so that's absolutely true. Ghosting is going to happen. I see a lot of recruiters getting upset over this. It's just part of the game, and this is why people coming from sales always do very well in recruiting, because candidates are going to ghost you at the beginning. They're going to be in the interview process. They're going to ghost you there. A lot of times, there's just nothing you can do.
If you're cold calling candidates, get comfortable with leaving voicemails. I'm guilty of not answering phone calls that I don't recognize, so that's probably the case with most. Number 3.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't cold call candidates that much, but I do cold call clients. And, you know, if you're first starting off and you've never done any cold calling at all, you're probably very nervous to do it. Just get used to doing it. You just have to go, and you have to get some reps in. You have to get comfortable leaving those voicemails. So yeah, I mean, drop those seeds, leave voicemails, personalize those voicemails, and you're going to get some calls back. You're going to get some wins. So yeah, just doing the work. Don't worry about being perfect, and kind of face that unknown.
Try to get creative with your outreach to candidates, especially the passive ones. If you're sending a cold email or message via LinkedIn, social media, or an email, think to yourself, what will get them to reply to me?
This is probably my favorite tip out of all of them, is getting creative with your outreach, because candidates are so used to getting spammed. There's a Reddit group called Recruiter Hell or Recruiting Hell, something like that, and candidates are just ripping on recruiters all the time because there's so much AI, there's so much email, there's just so much on LinkedIn of people just running basic keyword searches, and you're just blasting 1,000 people all at once, and it's not matches, right? And what the creative stuff does is it lets the candidate know that, hey, I'm looking at your information and I really believe that this is a fit, and I'm doing my best to match you up with something. That's what the good recruiters do. And also the creative stuff gets you more responses. Like, there's a lot of candidates that may be in the market, and I used to do this all the time, is I used to be open to changes or new roles, and I would get a note that looked like it was sent by a machine or an email blast. I'm just like, maybe I'll get to it later. Maybe I'll look at this later. When it's a human talking to you, you feel a little bit more obligated to at least thank them for, like, hey, that was creative. I really appreciate you taking the time to, actually care about me and try to find this fit for me.
Okay, with rejection, I can't tell you how many times I was told, remove me from your list, or I'm happy in my current role, please don't contact me again. Eesh.
Yeah, number 4. So rejection is going to happen, and this is for all the recruiters that are running a full desk or trying to get clients. It's going to happen more often on the client side, and you have to get used to rejection. It's just part of the game. And there's a book called Go for No, and I think this is a really great book. It's by Andrew Walsh. He came on my podcast once, and the one thing that you learn in sales early is you learn how to handle rejection. And I remember hearing one of my sales managers saying, how many no's did you get today, right? And the equation was like, get 8 no's, get 1 yes. And that's what you need to pay attention to, is a no is just getting you closer to a yes. Get comfortable with rejection. It's no big deal. Don't take it personal. And
think of unique ways to source candidates. LinkedIn and job boards are solid. Where else are candidates active? Think social media, Facebook group, alumni groups. You get the picture.
So that one's great. Absolutely agree with that. So I think about software engineers. GitHub is also good. Social media platforms. There's a lot of Facebook groups that tend to get a lot more action than the LinkedIn groups. So if it's like a sales group or a marketing group, things like that, where people are just sharing cool content, it seems to be just a lot more personal and laid back. It's not like that like fake professional LinkedIn type group. Like, people are being less filtered, and there's a lot of candidates in there that's maybe open to your DMs, and also don't spam those Facebook groups. You'll get kicked out. But yeah, there's a lot of new specific avenues that you should live in, and especially this is why it's good to have a niche too, because you can build up all these different channels, really engage with them, and start to create relationships, in contrast to being all over the place and being a chicken with your head cut off.
Position you're recruiting for. This will help you describe the role to the candidate in a unique way. Good luck!
Yeah, so that one's important too. So my phone screens are never super long, but the one thing that I'm prideful about is I really do try to close great clients, and I've been good about getting rid of clients with bad reputations and that type stuff. So when I'm pitching a client, I do believe in them 99% of the time, and I do like how exciting they are, or if they're a startup and they're growing fast, or if they have a good product. There's always something positive to take away from the client. But also if there's a negative, I'm also pretty transparent about that. So one thing that I'll usually do is if there's some bad Glassdoor reviews for the company, I don't even hide that. I'll literally send the link to people in the first email, like, hey, here's the Glassdoor, a couple bad reviews. I won't even say anything about it. The link will just be there. And if they have a question about it, I'll answer it. I'll be very transparent. I'll attack it head on. And being honest with candidates is always the best way to lead. They feel more respected. They feel like you're not, I'm literally not hiding anything, and I'm not going to pull the shade over you just to make some money. So being transparent is very important. And yeah, highlight the positives. Talk about some of the good things.